morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on ABS Television. The headlines: work advances at second Niger Bridge projects. Nigerians urged to join campaign against piracy to encourage economic growth. Federal government commences profiling of displaced persons. Violence escalates between Israeli military and Gaza fighters. My name is Priska Wankwa, and now the news in detail. Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo has assured Anambra of federal government's commitment to completing the second bridge across the Niger. The Vice President was speaking during an inspection of work on the Asaba end of the bridge, being a part of activities lined up for his one-day official visit to Anambra State. Details and more on this report from our studio.
However, it was observed that work was ongoing at the site as pillars were being cast and mounted. According to Professor Sibanjo, the federal government is committed to completing the project and its access roads because of its importance to the economic development of the zone and the country. The Vice President added that the project is one of the priorities of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, as well as one of such 5 projects that has money set aside under the Presidential Funding Initiative to ensure uninterrupted work and its completion, describing Anambra as a shining example among committee of states in the country. He pledged the federal government's resolve to maintain a stable, unified, just and fair country, irrespective of tribe, political or religious affiliations.
Very proud of the results that we've seen here in Anambra State. The second Niger Bridge is part of there are about 4 or 5 such projects where money has actually been set aside under presidential funding initiative to ensure completion. And so we have no fears at all that it will indeed be completed as promised and as scheduled. The federal government, as the Royal Majesty has noted, is committed to completing the second Niger Bridge and the access roads. I think it's an important point that we want to make sure that we complete it because it's very important economically, not just for this zone, but more importantly also for the entire country. And that's one of the reasons why it is a priority for the President that it is completed.
In his speech, Governor Willie Obiano said project will definitely open up more economic opportunities in the area. The governor equally recalled that the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration had released about 30 billion naira to execute the bridge project, calling for its completion in record time.
During the campaigns, I told you that 30 billion has already been paid to the contractor, and they are on site and working. This is an opportunity to also thank the federal government again and again. Very, very pleased with that process.
The Vice President and the Governor's entourage earlier paid a courtesy call on the traditional ruler of Onitsha, Igwe Alfred Achebe, who thanked the Vice President for his visit and the assurances he gave to the people of the state, commending the efforts of the federal government in attending to the needs of the zone, and asked for increased attention to other areas of need.
The federal government has always been urged to respect federal character principle in making appointments. The Anglican Bishop of Agwata Diocese, Right Reverend Samuel Izafo, made the call while presenting his charge to delegates attending the second session of the 5th Synod of the Diocese, holding at St. James Church, Oga, in Agwata local government area. Correspondent Valentine Baduha will cover the events for the EBS reports.
Bishop, who regretted the marginalization of some sections of the country in the scheme of things, called for the application of equity and justice in allotting positions to ensure that all the 6 geopolitical zones are carried along, and charged politicians to always keep promises, advising them to stop taking electorates for granted. He Anambra State House of Assembly for passing the bill that will check frivolous spending during funerals, and called on the public to respect the bill, which he noted is for the interest of the people.
Jesus Christ is all we need for us to live in this church and the world. The soul be the victims rejected has indeed become the headstone. This is the time to know nothing else among the people except Jesus and Him crucified. This is the time to balanced word of God. This is the time to show Jesus Christ to the world as all that she needs. This is the time to manifest the power of God and the wisdom of God in ministry so as to attract people to Jesus Christ and not to rebel.
Speaking of the synod, Jesus Christ, the power of God and the wisdom of God, Bishop Ezofo canvassed for more synergy between the church and the government to improve the moral tone of the society. In a remark, the Chancellor of the Diocese, Justice Peter Obiora, called on the people to always follow due process in all they do.
Legalization has to do have no projects and the directive that each African organization should come up with a project, and that is necessary because we must find a way to be self-sustainable and to reliant and also to engage our women.
In their separate interviews, the wife of the bishop, Mrs. Chinyere Ezofo, and the synod delegate, Mr. John Onyakpa, noted that salvation can only be gained through the wisdom and power of God. Others who spoke during the event were the Anglican Bishop of Awka Diocese, Right Reverend Alexander Ibezim, and his Obaru counterpart, Right Reverend Prosper Ama, who decried the level of corruption, killings, and sufferings in the country, called on the leaders, especially at the national level, to seek the wisdom and power of God.
Every area of our life, whether in the church or area, wisdom plays a role. Okay? Wisdom and how we package our lives. So, as a church, I pray and I dialogue with your leaders. Jesus Christ, the wisdom and the power of God. What we need in Nigeria today is just the power of God. Charge is not for our time.
The synod was attended by over 18 bishops, including the pioneer bishop of Agwata Diocese, Most Reverend Christian F.O.B., the Archbishop of the Niger Province, Most Reverend Godwin Obala, a one-time Dean of the Church of Nigeria, Most Reverend Maxwell Anikwenwa, the Group General Manager, Public Affairs Division of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Sir Ndo Ugammadu, who was represented, the President, Agwata Council of Knights, Sir Isaiah Ezezika, and the Patron of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Mr. Godwin Ezemo, among others. From St. James Anglican Church, Oga, in Agwata local government area, Valentine Mbadowa reporting for ABS News.
The Anti-Piracy Society of Nigeria has restated its commitment to making Anambra a piracy-free state. The Director General, Anti-Piracy Society of Nigeria, Mr. Frank Udonu, made the declaration during the opening ceremony of a 4-day anti-piracy stakeholders workshop in Awka. Correspondent Valentine Mbadoha has the details.
Mr. Frank Udonu, who described piracy and counterfeiting as economic sabotage, reassures the society, especially producers and the people with creative aspirations, that piracy will soon become a thing of the past. He further appreciated the state government for its support through the Ministry of Information and Public Enlightenment and called on consumers to encourage economic growth and development by patronizing original products.
We're trying to impact knowledge on them for them to actually understand what's piracy, counterfeit, what all these things, what they are, how to identify fake, how to make right choice. We started with intellectual property define. Then the second one, the Consumer Protection Council, they are here. They came and then explain how to identify fake, what actually we are supposed to look up in the market.
In their separate remarks, the Managing Director of Anambra Newspaper and Printing Corporation, Sacho Kannabife, and Mr. Molumba Obiajolo of the Faculty of Arts, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, who commended the initiative, declared their support for the Anti-Piracy Society of Nigeria.
You are going out there to change the society. You are also going out there to save lives. You are also going to save your own lives.
The delegates from Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, led by the Assistant Director, Consumer Education, Mr. Anthony Nwafo, took the participants through a practical section on how to identify pirated and fake products in the market while assuring a synergy between their agency and the Anti-Piracy Society of Nigeria.
Some of our markets
The main thing, okay, Bible Competition Council, here they ensure that consumers have value for their money. Upon a buying my hair, you will want my hair, buying my hair, you will also buy me. Upon a will take it, and here's another.
In Oka, Valentine Mbado reporting for ABS News.
The state chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, Comrade Emma Ifesinachi, has called on members to come together and form a united front to elevate the council. Comrade Ifesinachi made the call during the May 2019 Congress of the Union held at the Chief Godwin Ezemo International Press Center in Oka. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo takes the story from here.
The first Congress for the year attracted the newly elected executives and members of the union and featured inauguration of 9 committees that will help to fast-track the actualization of the lofty visions and plans of the council under the present leadership. Comrade Ifesinachi called on members to support his leadership to rebuild and redefine the organization for the benefit of all. Promising to use his second term in office to serve the people, Comrade Ifesinachi appealed to the aggrieved members to let go their grievances and join forces to make the union greater.
The essence is for us to get everybody involved in what we are doing. We have a goal, we have our projections, and we want to carry everybody along.
Earlier in a service to kickstart the Congress, the senior pastor of Deeper Love Assembly International, Pastor Joseph Mwabweze, emphasized the need for all mortals to retain God in their knowledge in order to prosper, overcome life challenges, and inherit God's kingdom after death.
But if you didn't create time to study and know God, you can't find God. And persisting with all this study, you can't find God.
Among the inaugurated committees was the Ethics and Disciplinary Committee, headed by the Director News and Current Affairs Department of the Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, Mr. Gebo Baleze, who promised on behalf of others to ensure that sanity is brought in practice of journalism profession.
We were abide by the contents of the task of reference that is coming, and also do what we think is needful, because we know what it means to discipline and motivate.
From Godwin Ezemo International Press Center in Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is set to begin the profiling of displaced persons for accurate data gathering. This was announced when the Commission met with the Joint IDPs Profiling Service in Abuja. There has been no useful data gathered to fully recognize and understand displacement of persons in the country. The National Commission is optimistic that the profiling carried out by the organization will go a long way in helping it tackle IDP-related issues. The representative of the Joint IDP Profiling Service believes the task to be undertaken will never lead to come up with possible recommendations for tackling challenges discovered. At the end of the profiling, the Commission will use the outcome to sort out pending IDP challenges. The National Automotive Design and Development Council has called on the federal government to make a legislation that would turn the auto policy into law. The Director General, NADDC, Mr. Jelani Aliyu, said this shortly after inspecting the Honda HR-V, which was newly introduced into the Nigerian market. He said that the automotive plan, which contains a number of policy measures needed to revitalize the industry for job creation, local value addition, and technology acquisition. He said the need for legislation to support the policy was based on the conviction that it would assist in strengthening the policy as well as preventing it from being changed by subsequent governments. Cyclone Fani, the biggest storm to hit the Indian subcontinent in 5 years, has burrowed into Bangladesh after leaving a trail of deadly destruction across the eastern coast of India. At least 16 people died in India, mostly in the worst-hit eastern states of Odisha. In neighboring Bangladesh, authorities said at least 12 people died and scores of others were wounded as Fani swung northeastwards into the country. At least 4 of those deaths were reported from Kisharang district in central Bangladesh. Kabir Ahmed, Deputy Commissioner of Baguna district, said an elderly woman and her grandson died after a tree fell on their tin-shed home. Some residents of the state participated in the 7th edition of the Anambra State Walk for Life monthly fitness exercise. Participants commenced the exercise from Amobia Field, opposite Governor's Lodge, through Amobia Bypass to Kwata Flyover, Unizik Temporary Site, Aroma Flyover, and terminated at Dr. Alex Esqueme Square in Oka. Kenneth Chukudi, who participated in the exercise, has the details.
Participants joined this year's May edition of the walk, covering 8.5 kilometers, including a 9-year-old boy, Chigozie Pascal, as the sound of traditional Ogene music gave the fine rhythm to the Walk for Life exercise. Speaking to newsmen at the end of the walk, the chairman, Anambra State Sports Development Commission, Mr. Anthony Oli, said that the walk is a continuation of the state government fitness campaign to ensure that Anambra remain fit and healthy.
You know, we took from the same field opposite the Governor's Lodge down to Amobia roundabout, and we took all the flyovers and got to Ekweme Square. This is 8.5 kilometers, but you see that people didn't feel it. And that's why we got here and we see how a lot of almost 30 minutes aerobics. Yes, people refuse to go. You know, like they're still, they've gotten used to this long distance. You understand? So gradually we are achieving our objective. You know, when we started it, we were like, what the hell is this? But now you see that people are getting into the mood. Okay, that's exactly the thing.
Some notable participants who spoke to the ABS, including the Principal Secretary to the Governor, Sir Willie Nwokoye, the Commissioner for Youth Empowerment and Creative Economy, Mr. Bonaventure Enemali, and the Commissioner for Works, Mr. Marcel Ifejiofo, noted that it was important to keep fit and that the monthly Walk for Life exercise provided the opportunity for people to exercise without stress.
We thank the chairman, Sports Commission, for a job well done. Yes. Just keep fit. After this, you are fit. Yes. And you know, this is part of my training. I go to sites, I trek, and I want to thank people at the PS and the Commissioner for Youth that are doing very, very well. I thank the whole Anambra and I thank Sports Commission. Thank you very much. I thank His Excellency the Governor.
This is just an exercise, as we say, is a promo, and I feel so good. Promo. Yeah, it's a promo. This is a promo, and we hope that the next edition we're going to be more than this.
I have participated from day 1 October last year to today. Today is the most highly attended, and it supports the fact that wherever a discount is offered, you have too many buyers. So I invite everyone to look forward to the next edition.
Some others who spoke, including the Executive Secretary and CEO, Anambra Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Mrs. Choma Eze-Enyemulu, and the Special Advisor to the Governor on Chieftaincy and Community Affairs, Barrister Vera Okonkwo, pointed out the importance of keeping fit through exercises at least 30 minutes daily, as the benefits to health are numerous. They urged more Anambra to join in Walk for Life exercise, while also appreciating the organizers.
In fact, it is the best thing to do, especially to walk. Okay. Because when you jog, you may get tired. But when you walk, it's really very good because your blood circulates, you sweat, you shed fat, you lose weight. It's very healthy for the heart. I want to encourage everybody to come out at least once a week to do their walk.
I feel so good. Okay. It's a very nice experience to walk. It's recommended that we walk 30 minutes every day, but this we've walked more than 1 hour, and I'm very happy about it. It's very good for the health.
So from the participants also went through aerobic exercise and fruit breakfast at the end of the walk. In Oka, it's been Kenechukwu Chukwudi for ABS News.
The Iboka family, friends and well-wishers, as well as the members of St. Kevin Catholic Church, Nimu, in Njikoka Council area have paid their last respects to their own, late Mr. Ebube Anthony Ibuka, who died at the age of 59. Our correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo reports that late Mr. Ebube Anthony Ibuka was until his death husband to an ABS staff, Mrs. Stella Ibuka, who is presently the special assistant to the governor on media. His reports.
In a homily, the parish priest of St. Matthew's Catholic Church, Abu, Reverend Father Michael Wajuobi, who hails from Nimo, described death as a golden key that opens the gate of eternity at the necessary end for all mortals, calling on Christians whom he said are sojourners on earth to always prepare themselves for eternity, as no one knows when death comes.
Death is the golden key that opens the gate of eternity. It is a pact and also the step everybody must take towards eternity.
In a remark, the brother to late Mr. Ibuka, Reverend Father John Bosco Ibuka, while regretting the demise of his late brother, noted that the family did all they could to save his life, but all to no avail, and acknowledged the supremacy of God and prayed for eternal repose of his late brother's soul. He appreciated those who contributed for the deceased treatment when he was hospitalized, and as well those that joined the family to bid him farewell. The burial ceremony featured performances by St. Kevin's Catholic Church, Nimo Women Group, visit by in-laws and friends, including the Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS family. From Nimo, in Njikoka local government area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page. It is at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV online. Follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And just before we go, a quick reminder of our top stories. Workers advance at second Niger Bridge project. Nigerians have been urged to join campaign against piracy to encourage economic growth. Federal government has commenced profiling of displaced persons. And finally, from the foreign scene, we brought you the reports that violence has escalated between Israeli military and Gaza fighters. And that's the end of the Breakfast News on ABS Television. Many thanks for watching. My name is Priska Mwankwo. Good morning.